How we feeling? Back home? Back in your own beds and everything?
Yeah, I mean,
First
been a good
road
week.
trip? Yeah.
Been a good week again. You know, we had an off week last week, all week. We talked about it and then rebounded from it,
Yep.
and then had a good feeling. Good, you know, trying to get things smoothed out right now.
Kind of eliminate those peaks and valleys like you saw last week, maybe? Or?
Yeah, well, there's the emotion. Like we had real big emotional weekends, Mankato, and we talked about Mankato, North Dakota, and you can't help it. And then the air was out of the balloon, and you don't want to keep doing that. They're all big games, but you just want to keep things on an even keel, and that's where we're fighting to get back to consistency.
We're a month in now with those 10 or 11 young guys. What kind of growth have you seen just in 1 month from the young players?
Well, there's so many of them. It'd be different if it was a small group, but outstanding. You got a little bit of everything happening there. You got some guys producing offense. You've got those 3 young defensemen that just keep getting better, and then you kind of have that group where you just get so excited with that you just know what's going to come out of them. Pino and Lamb and Kurth, and then the Millstat and Strobel were great last weekend. Yep. Great energy. So they're it's going to be a heck of a class. I hope it arrives soon where it's all on the same page. But
yeah, you mentioned on your radio show it's time for the young guys to stop being young guys. What does it look like when they advance from that label of being a young guy? What do they do different?
They're not. It's when they're not thinking. When you're just and we're at that time of year right now where it's happening all over North America, from the NHL down, where you're implementing systems, you're getting comfortable in how you have to play, you're getting comfortable with line mates, you have young guys that get off to slow starts, and then to wrap all that together, it's all of a sudden when they know what they have to do when they step on the rink, and in their systems and the forecheck and the responsibilities defensively. So now you're not thinking, you're just playing hockey, and that's when I call it, that's when kind of some magic starts to happen, when you got a whole team that just knows their responsibilities. But we're not there. I'll tell you, we've really come a long way with that, though.
How do you help that magic happen?
I wish I could speed it up. I wish I could give them the magic potion. It's over after 2 weeks. It just takes time. And then there is a time where.
Have you seen any moments where it is happening already?
Oh yeah, I mean you can already tell that it's starting to happen. But when you have so many of them, and then they revert back a little bit, and then you get some of the older guys who know exactly. Like, for example, our older guys know exactly what the series is going to be like with Notre Dame. So, and when you have a lot of older guys, they can help the young guys. Now you're trying to explain what the series is going to be like, and you need to do that. And sometimes you got to live through. You just got to live through experiences until grow on them.
You talked going into North Dakota that you don't really need to watch tape. You know the way North Dakota is going to play. I would imagine with Notre Dame, as many good games as you've had with them, and that style they play the same way a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty much when you're back in conference, you kind of what's going to be new is you get a new coach, a couple of new coaches.
Yeah.
And we don't have those teams yet, but same thing. I'm sure Notre Dame's watching film of us and go, okay, that's Minnesota, and we're watching that's Notre Dame. So, coach, when there's coach changes, then you got to work again. You got to watch a lot of film.
Jeff Jackson, you know what you're going to get.
They're saying the same thing.
What's the biggest challenge in playing Notre Dame? Is it
just accept the fact that it's like our games are traditionally real low scoring, and we said at one point like 10 of them were 1 goal or whatever. Jess used to give me all the stats on that. And then one game might not be, but they're just tight games. There's not a lot there. Everyone's fighting for every inch of ice, and you got a young guys that are still playing goal scoring versus playing hockey, and they got to know it's going to be a hard weekend. They got a real old team, a lot of veterans out there.
Do you think it's harder to generate offense or avoid making turnovers against a team like this? What's the bigger challenge?
Well, ask me in a weird way that gets me.
They're kind of tied together, I think.
Yeah, that's my well, you never want to turn the puck over. You know, it's just. You know, you can't get frustrated. That's the biggest thing that you try to install, that just know that you're fighting for inches out there of ice and space, and they're going to be in lanes, they're going to block shots. You know, they got a big heavy decor. There's not a lot of freedom, and we can't conversely give them a lot of freedom. And you know, you kind of got to beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame's game a lot of times if you're gonna beat them.
Lacombe going to practice this week, and you just give him time off now because he plays so well. Whether he practices or not, it seems like.
Oh, he needs to practice.
But I mean, you know, he's obviously had a real nice impact offensively and defensively this year so far.
He's off to I think two things. I think that the depth of our decor has let us spread the minutes out, and you know, we're producing a lot of points from our defense. Last year, I think we had 3 guys playing far too many minutes, and you were wearing them down. And they were put out in every defensive situation. We have 7-8 defensemen. We can play in any situation, and it's lessened their minutes. You know, we talked about with Faber, and it goes same with Lacombe and Johnson. They're all producing offensively. They're more fresh right now. It's our theory. It sure sounds good. We're going to go with it. But their minutes are down from a year ago. But the real truth is they were way too high a year ago. And they're getting more. You know, we're still trying to manage 7 defensemen. We've got a lot of penalty. There's a lot of power play time Saturday, which was hard, and that's helping our entire decor.
Yeah. Jackson's gone through a couple stages in his career where he had some trouble with turnovers, and you could see that maybe got in his head. Seems like he's playing with a lot of confidence right now and just playing a much more relaxed game. Do you think?
Well, he was an All-American one year, was he?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Sophomore year.
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
The tough times have been few and far between.
You're going to nitpick on a couple turnovers to that sophomore All-American? You're not going to get a fight out of me on that. So he can keep doing what he's doing.
Gotcha.
You're starting to find some continuity up front with your lines and guys who can play together, or are you still trying to find the magic?
We're waiting. This one is not fine. It's waiting for. Hugo's a great example. Okay, Hugo is, appears he's off to a little bit of a slow start. Well, he's not going to stay there. Like, Hugo's going to get going, and part of it might be where and who he's playing with and how that gets going. But we're waiting for some of that to happen. Some of our young guys just gaining more confidence, and we had a lot of guys thinking early. They were in big series. We just need to smooth it out. They just need to keep, and we are watching a lot of guys really grow. And I think Matthew Nice kind of was off a little bit for a series or two, and he shook it off. He's going now. It's more of a hole than like one guy or one line, but we're still waiting for that to mature and get some combinations that are going stronger.
I asked Brad Pillick about playing with Hugo, and he said his tenacity on the puck is what you think of immediately. What pops into my head is that goal against UMass in overtime where, down low, he was just not going to let go of the puck until he got it to a teammate.
He's so uncanny strong, and that's, he and I were just talking today, and that's his game. Like, for me, a new coach a year ago, I was just shocked at how strong he is in down low in tight areas, and his game builds off of that. And he's got fire, a lot of fire in his belly too. So, and we see sophomores quite often get off to little slower starts, and sometimes he hates saying slower start. He wants to be a little ahead of where he's at.
Yeah.
He's not far off.
Is it a challenge sometimes for guys like that who play so well on the wall to figure out how to take that and apply it with line mates? Is that the tough part? They can't do it all by themselves?
Yeah, probably that's the $1 million. I just said it, like, I asked one of our players, call your mom and dad tonight and have them send me the manual, the manual they have on you. We all have them on our kids, right?
Yeah.
It takes time. We got to be around them. We've been around 4 weeks, and it goes left, right. It's just like our own kids. I don't have a damn manual on them. We learn over time.
So you've got parent-teacher conferences coming up, basically. Is that what's going to happen?
Coach student meetings coming up, and they've started. You didn't have to have a lot for Mankato in North Dakota, and things are going, and now it's time. 8 games. We're having more meetings right now, and a little more film session, and that just comes with the territory.
Is there a typical peak and valley with freshmen where they come in and adrenaline's flowing and they got all this energy, and then maybe they flame out a little bit and have a little bit of a dip?
Sometimes, then they all get it back. Sometimes Christmas can't come quick enough, and then the second half you just see, whew, voila, it changes. And I like young teams. We got one, and like I said, no one feels sorry for the Gophers, but we got a lot of work to do. That's the fun part of it. The good thing is they won't stay young. All right.
Thank you. Thanks. Wish Craig a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I asked your coach about, you're a month into your freshman year now. What have you learned, and is it slowing down a little bit, or how has it changed in a month?
I'd say the teams we've played have obviously been pretty unbelievable, and to start off a season like that it's one heck of a month. But to be playing with the guys I'm playing with, I've been super fortunate, and I think we're just going to keep going onward from here.
Where'd you learn to take that great shot?
I guess just my whole life, being able to go to Breakaway Academy it was a school I went to growing up where I skated every day, and to be able to get on the ice and shoot pucks every day and go in the shooting room after is something that kind of really valued it.
Did you have a plan or a methodology to work on your shot? Who'd you learn the technique from and things like that?
I guess it was just watching some guys like Austin Matthews and Elias Pettersson are two of the guys I like to watch more growing up, but like the past 2 or 3 years, and the kind of the pull and push shot and the quick release are things I like to locate it with. And my dad always pushed me in the shooting room growing up, so that was helpful.
What do you think about puck placement on your stick, flex, positioning, feet? What's your checklist?
I'd say all those things, yeah. One of the bigger things I like to do is pull it in as kind of as far as you can into your feet, kind of move the goalie, over a foot, and kind of get it around the defenseman's leg and kind of rip it and have that quick release, something that's helped me.
What have you found out about Notre Dame going into this weekend? What do you expect?
I expect kind of a hard-fought team, kind of like Mankato. I'd say a little bit like North Dakota. We've heard it's, maybe going to be a lower-scoring game, 2-1, 1-0. They're going to be playing a lot of defense, so it'll be a fun weekend.
What's the most eye-opening thing in the first month for you? What really made you go, wow?
I'd say the fans at home. I don't know if that's kind of an obvious one, but 10,000 fans and then the student section kind of cheering us on was pretty electric. But to have that here, it was really cool.
Your coach said it's time for the young guys to stop being young guys. What does that mean to you? Do you see anything in film or one-on-one coaching that shows what they're looking for?
Yeah, I'd say being 8 games in, you kind of have to have that tougher mentality now. Going into more Big Ten play, we have to win these games in order to be better in the standings. But I'd say just kind of being a freshman, you're kind of considered a young guy, a weaker guy. But now that, like I said, we're 10 games in, we kind of got to start playing like more of men.
Are there any one-on-one battles that stand out in your mind that you saw and look back on and say that's something to think about?
I'd say in film, just the film they send us after and some we watch. As a team, some of the freshmen like us, we need to win more battles in the corner. We need to be stronger against some of these really guys who could be 23, 24 years old.
super high energy, obviously, against North Dakota, and then I think everybody admits last Friday maybe you just couldn't get things going. How do you eliminate kind of those peaks and valleys?
I'd say just by learning from it. I think that was a game we needed, and our team learned from it, and obviously we came out the second night even stronger and had that win. But that was something that kind of hit us in the head pretty hard, and we learned from it.
You played with Logan a long time. Obviously, teams are keying on him. He's seeing maybe more physical stuff than he has in the past. How are his spirits, and how do you kind of keep him up despite all the stuff he has to skate through?
Yeah, I'd say he has a lot of energy, and he just keeps going. I'd say against Ohio State, they were matching us against their line, the Wise line, but they were being pretty physical on us the whole game. And to have Nyes on the other side, a big strong guy, kind of cools an eye under his wing and kind of keep this energy going was it was good for us.
I was going to ask, having 89 on the wing kind of has got to help when things get a little mucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he say anything on the bench between shifts to kind of keep things going forward?
I'd say yeah. We just know he's really smart from his experience, obviously playing with Myers the whole year last year, so he knows what it takes to be the best, and he's been helping us a lot. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Bryce, the young guys aren't as young anymore. We're a month in. What are you seeing as far as growth from the all the new faces?
Yeah, I mean, with Mankato and North Dakota back to back, I mean, that's probably two of the biggest series that they're ever going to see in their career. And so, with those being kind of behind us now, everyone's sort of grown up now and kind of seeing what college is like. And I think all the young guys are stepping up really big for us. They're all playing well, and I think they're going to be a big contribution for our team if we want to win a national championship.
For you personally, I mean, maybe a slower start than you would hope for, but you got one last weekend. Does it feel like things are coming?
Yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, like you said, obviously not the start that I wanted, but hopefully I can turn it around quick and not only just score points, but be a big contribution for our team.
You see that red light come on last Friday, you think, oh yeah, this is how you do this thing. I remember this.
Yeah, it was definitely a good feeling. It was a crappy feeling as to when it happened, losing that game, but it obviously felt good to see one go on the net, and hopefully more will come.
What do you look at and think about as you're trying to move forward in your season? Are you looking for anything specific?
No, I just think it's winning weekends, winning games, and trying to get as many points as we can. And we're sort of, you play till Christmas, and then once Christmas comes around, you play till the playoffs, and we're just trying to put ourselves in the best position possible to be in a high seed in the playoffs, and hopefully give ourselves the best advantage.
When you're looking for positives out of your game, what do you look at and remember?
I just think it's my dad always talks about when he used to go out for a shift, he would sort of come back after a shift and reflect to see if he had a scoring chance that shift. And I think if you're getting scoring chances, you're not playing D, and if you're not playing D, you're not getting scored on. So that's always a big thing is just try to go out there every shift and try to create something.
You've played a fair amount with Aaron as your center. Just what makes him as effective as he is, especially along the walls. It seems like he's just really, really strong there.
Yeah, he's so smooth. I mean, his hands work with his feet and his brain really well. And just skating with him this summer, I was like, there's no way this guy doesn't get 30 goals this year. I mean, he's just such a freak athlete, and he's so smooth with everything. And he hasn't had really a hot start, but we're all with him. Like, we all know that he's going to turn around really fast and pick it up and be a huge contribution for our team.
It seems like he's one of the nicest guys you'll meet off the rink. Where does that grit come from as soon as he gets a stick in his hand?
I think it's once he puts his helmet on and he can kind of hide behind it. But he's a great dude, and he's somebody in practice you don't want to cross check because you feel bad once you do it. So I don't know where it comes from, and he's a really good dude.
We were talking to Jimmy about his shot, and obviously you know a lot about shooting. What are things that you key on when you're looking to shoot hard?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of, the goalie coach here, Brendan Pottersay, is really close to me too. So I'm always talking to him about, where's a good spot to shoot that, maybe a goalie doesn't like to be shot on. And, he said it doesn't really matter where you're shooting as long as you're shooting the puck hard. So just sort of trying to create space for myself and be able to put a puck in a spot that the goalie's not going to be able to get to right away. And, whether it's right by a post or, short side, just kind of putting it hard at all times.
What do you think about with your technique with the puck and your feet and weight transfer? What kinds of things are in your checklist for shooting well?
I think the biggest thing is just sort of getting the puck off quick. I don't really focus on weight transfer, but you know, it was obviously something that I worked on with my dad a lot because he's a shooting coach, and so just sort of getting the puck off quick with something, trying to catch the goalie off guard. It doesn't really matter where it goes after that.
You've seen a lot of those shiny gold helmets over the years. What do you think with Notre Dame coming to town? What do you expect from them?
Yeah, they're a really defensive team, and you know, coach always talks about before we play them, you know, what's the score? It's always 2-1, 1-1, 1-0, and you know, it's sort of a big key for us not to get frustrated. We know we have a lot of skilled guys on our team, and you know, sort of if pucks aren't going in the net, guys get frustrated early, and we just got to know that this weekend might not be a weekend that you score a lot of goals, and you know, we just got to sort of play that style, and hopefully we come on top.
Sure. Is that a tough mindset sometimes for young players to know they have to be mature with their decisions out there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, us upperclassmen, we've been through it a lot, so we sort of know what's going to happen. We don't really get too worried about it, and but it's good. We have a really good leadership group, and I think we're going to be able to help these young guys a lot.
You had 3 goals in the series last year. Is there anything you can build from that?
I don't know.
Take confidence in
Yeah,
that?
I don't know. I do remember them, but it's just, it was good playing with McLaughlin and Locker. And they helped me out getting those goals a lot. So yeah.
Jackson's not only leading your team in scoring, but has just been so solid on the back end for your team. Just what are you seeing from him this year as an upperclassman, kind of a more mature, maybe even a more calm guy?
Yeah, it's not fair that he's 6'3" and can skate that good with that good of hands. Like it's a guy that you go against in practice. You're like, all right, this is going to be a wasted rep. And you're not going to get to the net. And yeah, he's something else. I mean, we knew it freshman year coming in, and then you know sophomore year he was All-American, and you know rightfully deserved. He's one of the best defensemen, if not the best defenseman in the country, and you know he's just so smooth with everything. He's not afraid to shoot the puck at the net, and you know he scored a lot of goals like that.
Thanks, Bryce.
Thanks, Bryce.
Yeah.